Greetings, African ancestry member, community member, Rick B. Today is a beautiful day. I've been a volunteer at this place in my hometown called Veterans Memorial Hall, and when I walked by it when I was younger, I was just so astonished by its complex strength. It was kind of like a strong building in the middle of nowhere, like this big force that you couldn't stop. And I was always curious about it. But anyhow, some years later I went in there because it always had been closed. It'd been neglected and closed. But I found out that the Grand Army of the Republic, Abraham Lincoln soldiers, they basically all passed away. No one was there to take care of our history, our African history, the U.S. colored up and out of slavery. So today is the date of April 9th, the surrender of the Confederate capital of the transatlantic slave trade, to stop the continuance of the transatlantic slave trade inside the United States of America in the South. And today is the day that the Confederate capital surrendered. We know about surrender. Some people don't want to surrender. They still have the disease. And, as being an African ancestry member, it was hard for me to surrender to find out where I came from. So I knew that God was directing me at that spot to be a volunteer to go in there and clean up. And the Daughters of the Revolutionary War actually gave me an award. I know the Daughters of the Revolutionary War, I've heard a lot of different things where they didn't want to give people any type of gratitude or anything. But they gave me a recognition for what I do for cleaning up and whatnot. But I got a very special gift for you today. It was always said that the U.S. colored troops were buried in the back because of segregation. Well, on my little stints out and about decluttering, I found a monument. It was caked, thick, just caked. And I started to get to it, declutter it, and when I looked at it, it said this. Said the U.S. colored troops, the 45th U.S. colored troops. And it was said that these guys were in the back, and this monument was caked and cluttered. I don't know if you guys could see it, but it was said it was caked and cluttered. So I'm happy in this year of return to this special date, and to also have my African ancestry, Gabon, and people that know me know I like reggae music. I like my roots. I like my African roots and culture. So this day is a very I could care less what people say about Abraham Lincoln, and because people need to start checking themselves. We don't know where we come from, so we don't got the full story straight. You know what I'm saying? We're living in real situations where we don't know what we're talking about. And this little path of mine, of ours, is just one. We're not even touching the surface yet. And I went online, and I didn't know that my tribes were represented on ABC on the show Survivor. They were representing my tribes, the Tsonga, or the Kota and the Fang people. So, I give thanks to my ancestors, that long line and this surrender. When you get out and you just start to declutter and you put all that aside about Abraham Lincoln, the fight is real. The fight is real. At Veterans Memorial Hall or different things, people don't know much. We don't know much about the Civil War. We don't know where we came from. You know what I mean? So the fight is real. I didn't I knew that white men were having babies, but I didn't know that those lines still exist. So it's important that God showed me this, that God is showing me back to myself again, back to the root. And I thank you, my ancestors. I thank you, my ancestors, this day. I thank you. I thank you this day, because without them, I don't know where will we be at? Where will we be at? Extinct, dead, still in slavery. You know what I mean? So I'm happy, my ancestors. Thank you to U.S. Color for having some balls, for getting down and joining the ranks. And I'm happy to be here this April 9th celebrating. I have not forgot my ancestors about this day, even though that it was recognized that misinformed information, that the papers didn't travel across the United States. People didn't learn about this until Juneteenth. But by then, Abraham Lincoln was dead, and they were trying to plot and take over the government again. So this day is a very important date. And just for the record, the U.S. colored are not buried in the back. They're buried in the front. They're buried in the front. So I thank you, my ancestors. Thank you, African ancestry.